What is good, YouTube? This is Vortex. I'm back with another reaction and review video here. This is basically Game of Thrones Season 7, Chapter 3, The Queen's Justice review here from last night's episode. Pretty much, guys, I ended up having to rewatch the episode just because of everything that, that happened last night. During that episode. I usually fall asleep at night, but I was wide awake and I ended up watching that. And right after, I ended up watching season the next episode of Ballers. Right after that, it comes on HBO. Right after Game of Thrones. So a reaction and review will be coming up next on the episode of Ballers from last night as well. But needless to say, guys, let's just dive right into it. Pretty much, guys. The episode was great. It was really great. The opening scene with John and Sir Davos stopping in to have a chat with the Queen of Dragons herself, Daenerys. And we when you really take in just the first 15 minutes, I guess, of that whole spiel from the time that John arrived to the time that he had the conversation with Tyrion, and them having that reacquainting spill and discussion and what they were talking about. That whole scene, they had their little moment where they were calling each other names and stuff like that. But we take that in, and you even the part where when John is walking up with Tyrion, and they're having a discussion and talking about just their journey leading up to this point. And then Tyrion had mentioned John's dad and the Starks. And then that's when Jon Snow pretty much said, I'm not a Stark. And then next thing you know, it blew my, kind of, shocked me when the dragons flew like literally right over their heads, like right over the group's heads, right there, all three of them. It was very unexpected. I was just like, wow. I was like, wow, like, whoa, snap. Like the dragons could have easily, taken a bite out of somebody or anybody or all of them. Spit some fire at them or whatever. It was that whole spill was just insane. So, again, just that, just the beginning part was dope. And like I said, even after that, we're talking about roughly like 7 minutes worth of that, and then we go into the discussion with Varys and Belandres, and Varys is all cocky towards her, and she's pretty much she seems more humble, just because of they're what they're talking about. Because Varys is like, I'm surprised you're here, and but you're way over here, like you're it's like you're hiding, and she's her response is pretty much, I had some bad interactions in the past with the King of the North, and I need to be up here, out of the way, non-distracting. And she just mentions that she's going to end up going. I wrote it down here. She says that she's going to head head back to Volantres, I believe is what it was called. I can't, at the moment, I can't see it in my notes here, but she pretty much says that this is where she's going. Vary's response is like, well, don't come back. type of thing. And she's like, well, she's gonna come back. She's responding like, I'm gonna come back. I have to come back. I have to. Her response to his don't come back. She's pretty much telling him, I gotta come back. I gotta. I end up have. I end up. I end up. I will end up having to die here, and so will you. And he was, Varys was like, he was taken aback by that statement. He he it was like he shuddered too after she walked away. So that little conversation was kind of funny to me too, because he, again, Varys is a very cocky guy. But she pretty much just shut him down with that statement. But then comes the big meeting that pretty much all of us are like, man, this is it. At least one of them. This is Jon Snow standing in front of the Queen of Dragons. And just this whole, I would probably say about 7 or 8 minutes or so, this whole conversation it was just crazy. There was there's the introduction by my future wife. I'm just putting it out there right now. Miss Andre, Miss Andre, with her beautiful self. Um, my crush, as far as the Game of Thrones show goes. She goes into the spill about who the queen is, right? But it was just cracking me up because she gives this big, powerful introduction, and then John kind of glances over at Sir Davos, and he his pretty much response is, yeah, this is Jon Snow, and he's the King of the North. And that was it. He said it right, but he was like, this is Jon Snow. Oh, and by the way, he's the King of the North. There was like a brief pause. He just didn't know how to really how to respond after that big introduction, as far as Daenerys and her claim for the throne, basically from Missandre's introduction of the Queen. But after that, again, guys, after that, we sit here and we watch this discussion goes on, that happens because Daenerys is confused at who Sir Davos was, and Tyrion's like, this is who Sir Davos is, and the Queen's like, oh, I apologize, forgive me for not recognizing who you are, but she goes into the spill of my ancestor. I forgot his name that she mentioned, but she had mentioned an ancestor, and she's saying like, we, back then, this specific Stark bent the knee towards my ancestor, and that caused another Stark to bend the knee towards this ancestor, if I can remember off of that discussion. And then she pretty much says, this is per, 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 perpetuity. She's like, this is a perpetuity. An oath is an oath. And she basically tells Tyrion to give the explanation of what that definition means of perpetuity. I can't speak to that because I'm trying to do this as fast as possible. But perpetuity, and Tyrion's like, this it means forever. So she's basically like saying like, you've come here. I'm expecting you to come to where I'm at, right here, right now, and bend the knee. John, he's just like, I can't. And it, you when he says that, you're probably thinking in your mind, I know I was like, man, like, what if she decided to just like take this cat's life right now because he's technically not doing what she wants him to do. And John, he pretty much is like, that's not the reason why I'm here. We could go back and forth about your lineage and my lineage, but that's not why. And then Daenerys is like, she gets up and she's just like, this is what this is who I am. This is what I'm about. This is the reason why I'm standing, or I'm sitting on this throne, and I'm the dragon queen, and I was born from this land, and this is my lineage. And that's when that's when Sir Davos, he steps in. And when he steps in, I'm like, listening to what he's saying. He starts bringing up, John's. He starts bringing up John's, his past and what he went through to get to where he was at. He's basically saying, he doesn't have any type of true heritage to his name. He's a bastard child, but the people of the of the North chose him to lead. And I'm sitting back. I'm like, man, like he's really laying it thick for Daenerys to really take in, you know, who John is as a man, as a young man, and as the king in the North. And I'm sitting back like, how's Daenerys gonna respond? And she, after I believe if I can remember, Tyrion even mentioned, sort of, verifying like, I know John, he is a great man. He has, he does have pride to him, but I trust him. I believe in him. And that's just basically what Sir Davos was saying about the people of the North. Like, I believe, they believe in him because of who he is as a person. And Daenerys was pretty much saying the same thing about herself, but more so she was saying, I had faith in me, not because of this, that, and the third. She's like, I got here right now, right where I'm standing, and even sitting on this throne because I believed in myself. And that's basically what Sir Davos was saying. Like, the people of the North believed in John, and chose him to be the king of the North. And that's when that broke the ice. That's when Daenerys just like said, oh well, I guess you can stay. But if we all remember, you know when she said, we're going to set up your quarters or whatever, John decides to ask her, are we prisoners, as she's walking back towards the throne, because her back was turned. And then that's when she turned around swiftly and said, not yet. And I'm like, yo, son, that's crazy. That's just dope. That, one liners like that makes you a great character in a great show such as this one. So again, like the first, like I said, guys, the first like 15, so, close to 20 minutes, just that whole opening, that whole beginning was just crazy dope. And and it's just crazy how, you know the writers put those instances in these scenes that really caught your attention. And I really love that. One of the reasons why I really love Game of Thrones. Now, me personally, on a personal note, guys, I came into Game of Thrones real late. I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until the around the fourth season, when it was getting ready to begin. Because I was fully biased. I'd never seen an episode of Game of Thrones, prior to the fourth season getting ready to come out. And I was just like everybody, I had friends, mad friends, because I'm on Facebook. So I had mad friends talking about it on Facebook. And I'm like, oh, what the heck is this Game of Thrones thing, right? But I eventually checked it out and got hooked off the first episode of the first season. And it was pretty much a wrap after the second episode of the first season. It was over. I got caught up quick. And from there, just continue with where season four was at, and forward up to this point in season seven. But pretty much, guys, back to the episode here. After that, it gets even more crazier, right? Because Aragon freaking Greyjoy, this dude right here, he had captured, forgot her name that fast, but her and her daughter, if you remember, he had captured their, and even his sister, basically, too, and had them all in chains and stuff, and took them to Cersei's, and the people here. And he's pretty much like, I got this gift for y'all. Here's the woman who killed your daughter, Cersei's queen or whatever. And then that's when your boy's like, he's like, I want my reward. And she, you could tell Cersei's like, yeah, I know that you want me because you got it written all over your face. And she's like, you gonna get it after the war is over. But I already know that she's not gonna, let him sleep with her or whatever because that's her brother's. That she belongs to her brother, which again is still crazy in itself. But that, but the this whole situation with Cersei's and this lady who killed her daughter, that whole scene in the dungeon, that was crazy, man. Like insane crazy. I was just sitting here watching. I'm sitting here watching this, this transpire. Again, I don't know what I would do in the situation if it was, if that was my daughter and I'm, the person who killed my daughter was brought to me. I don't know if I could be able to not hold back any anger, any frustration, any type of, vengeance in my heart to be able to take